What's going on, guys, and welcome to another Doctor Who Series 11 review. Today I'm going to be reviewing Series 11 Episode 7, Kerblam. Now before I get started with this review for Kerblam, I'm going to say that, it depends what's going on here. If you're seeing this Monday night here in Australia, which it is right now, then I've probably uploaded this, I have uploaded this with my mobile data, because at the moment I'm currently recording this only an hour after the episode has aired here, but which is the same time that I usually record it, but my internet is currently out, so I can't really upload it at the moment. I'm going to try and upload this with my mobile data. I don't know if that's going to work though. I'm going to try and do it. If not, then you'll probably be getting this on Tuesday. But anyway, never mind with all that. Let's get into the review itself. So let's start off with the cast as always, starting off with Jodie Whittaker as the 13th Doctor. Really good again. I said that in Demons of the Punjab, she really did step up, and I quite liked her in Demons of the Punjab. I think that was definitely her best performance so far. And I think in this one, she's probably stepped it up again. I think she's definitely on level with her performance in the last episode, if not maybe a little bit better. She just has some really great moments. You know, the bit at the end where she gets really angry at Charlie, and she has a bit of a, she doesn't really get angry at him, but she tries to kind of persuade him into, not doing what he's gonna do, but he, that doesn't end up working, which we'll get into later. But I think Jodie Whittaker really finds herself as a Doctor here. She has some really funny moments as well. First of all, when she gets the parcel in the TARDIS, it turns out that it's a fez. So, nice little reference to Matt Smith's 11th Doctor there. I really like that. I always like, references to old episodes and stuff like that in Doctor Who. Really love it. She also, references all over the place in this one, because you've got the Matt Smith Fez reference. You've got the 10th Doctor reference with, when her, Yaz, and I think Ryan go into that closet, and she's like, did I ever tell you about the time that, I was with Agatha Christie and a wasp, little kind of hint there at Unicorn and the Wasp, the 10th Doctor episode. So that's really awesome. You also have once again the kind of Venusian Aikido thing, which we saw in, I believe, The Woman Who Fell to Earth, or maybe The Ghost Monument. It was one of those two. It was one of the first two episodes, I'm pretty sure we saw her use Venusian Aikido, which the 3rd Doctor used all the time. So that's really awesome. Just a lot of cool references in this one. So I think the writer for this one, who was Pete McTighe, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, he really is good at, these subtle little reminders of classic stories and classic Doctors and stuff. So I really like that. And yeah, on the whole, Jodie Whittaker was very good in this one, and the 13th Doctor as a whole was as well. Companions in this one, probably the best the companions have been all series in my opinion. Bradley Walsh is just amazing. He kind of gets separated from the group a little bit. He's on his own with this Charlie character, who we find out in the end is actually the villain of the story, which I thought was a really cool twist. We'll get into it. But yeah, I thought Bradley Walsh was once again amazing. Some really funny one-liners, just some funny bits, but also some good serious acting. Bradley Walsh is amazing. So yeah, Graham was an awesome character there. Tosin Cole as Ryan Sinclair. Honestly, I haven't been the biggest fan of Ryan. I think he's just kind of been average throughout this whole series. He's not really ever completely... He's been a bit too much of this... the writer seems to be... Chris Chibnall seems to want him to be this kind of hip kid. He's down with the kids. He's the hip one. He's, the one to relate to because he's all hip. However, he's just a bit too weird. However, in this episode... it's toned down a lot, and he just feels like a much more relatable character. He once again also has some funny moments, and really, I think this is Ryan's best episode, and probably Tosin Cole's best performance as well. I really liked him in this one. And then Mandip Gill as Yasmin Khan. I'm really happy we're getting more with Yaz. After Arachnids in the UK a little bit, but really after Demons of the Punjab last episode, we've now had 2 episodes where Yasmin has actually been a very good character, and she's honestly becoming one of the best. I probably do like her a little bit more than Ryan now, actually. She's really coming into her own, and yeah, I think Mandip Gill as an actor, also an actress, very good. I do want to briefly just talk about some guest cast. So first of all, you've got Julie, Hesmond High as Judy Maddox, who was the woman, the woman with the glasses, who was the head of persons or whatever she was called, head of people. She's really good in the role. I think she's very good at it. You've got Lee Mack as Dan Cooper. Lee Mack's amazing. I really love watching video clips of Would I Lie to You, the game show, on YouTube. Lee Mack's hilarious, and he's once again really good in this. He's not in it that much. He dies off pretty quickly, But he has some really funny moments, some really good sarcastic moments, which Lee Mack's really good at. I bet he wrote some of those jokes, to be honest. But yeah, altogether, he's really good in this. You know, the only other character I'm really going to talk about is probably Leo Flanagan as Charlie Duffy. This character was really good. It turns out, you know, he's the other janitor. He's the main janitor who Graham is with for the majority of this episode, but it turns out in the end that he's the one that set up this whole thing, set up the whole, you know, thing with the Kerblam robot and the bubble wrap, which we'll get into later. And I thought that was a really, really good twist. I thought the actor, you know, Leo Flanagan, I thought he did a really good job there as well. And altogether, Charlie was a really cool character. It had such a cool twist. I really did not expect that twist. So yeah, and it worked very well. Alright, so now into the episode itself. So this one, it's about, you know, the Doctor gets a package from the Kerblam robots. A Kerblam robot in the TARDIS. It turns out to be the Fez. And then there's a note in it saying, help me. She goes to investigate. They all find out all this stuff. And then it turns out that it's actually Charlie who's, you know, it's the system who was saying, help me. Because Charlie's, I don't know, he's trying to screw stuff over, and it's not going well for him, not for him, for other people, and he's just, you know, he's got this all set up where there's a whole army of Kerblam robots with parcels, and in these parcels there's bubble wrap, and he's made it so that the bubble wrap, when you pop it, because let's be honest, that's what everybody does with bubble wrap. I love that little thing. What does everybody do with bubble wrap when they get a new parcel? They pop it. Who doesn't? Please tell me someone who doesn't pop bubble wrap. I love how, you know, you just pop the bubble wrap and it's basically a bomb. And I really, really like that. I thought that was such a cool thing just a cool little thing to have in there. So that was really, really nice. Well, not nice, but, you know, I thought, and I loved at the end where the Doctor tries to tell Charlie that, this is not the right thing, you shouldn't be doing this, this is not what should be happening. And I was actually in that moment, I thought, yes, Jodie Whittaker, you're doing an amazing job as a Doctor here. This is such a good little speech. Actually quite a big speech, a big powerful speech from the Doctor there. I really like that. However, at the same time I was thinking, however, I actually don't want you to succeed in this. I don't want you to change the villain's mind. I was like, oh god, because it looked like for a second he was going to be like, okay, fine, I understand, we shouldn't be killing all these people. Here's the kind of detonator thing button. We're gonna be all good. And I was like, please, as much as that speech was amazing, don't do that, because we need some power. We need a good villain. And finally, I can say that we've had a pretty good villain. Finally, I mean, we're 7 episodes in, and we've finally actually had a decent villain. And funnily enough, we didn't even know who the villain was up until like 10 minutes before the end. But yeah, I really liked how Charlie said, nah, screw it, I'm not gonna side with you, I'm gonna do what I did, I'm gonna press this button, and teleport all these robots away and destroy the button. The Doctor manages to, you know, fix it all, and it turns out that he goes in the middle of all the robots because he's trying to run away from the Doctor and all them. He goes in the middle of all the robots that are about to teleport, but then when the Doctor, you know, reverses the teleport and tells the robots to teleport to themselves and then open the package and do what everyone does with bubble wrap, so they explode it. And, you know, I love how the Doctor's like, you know, to Charlie, come on, we can save you, you know, we can figure this out. But he just doesn't. He just stays there, and from what we know, he dies. And I really like that, because 7 episodes in, first of all, we have a villain who actually doesn't get talked down by the Doctor. They stay with what they're doing. They think, yeah, I'm the best here, and then it backfires on them massively. And they're the first villain to die. At least they should be dead, right? They should be dead. It kind of defeats the whole purpose if they're not. So, thank God. Thank God we finally had. And I mean, the twist was something I didn't expect as well. So, I really like that. I really liked that moment. So yeah, really good finish for this episode. It also started pretty well. I really liked all the stuff at the start. I thought the robots were creepy and also funny at the same time, which is kind of interesting. They reminded me of, you know, the Vok robots from Robots of Death. Also the Heavenly Host from Voyage of the Damned. They reminded me of those quite a lot, actually. The way they talked and looked and everything. So yeah, a lot of you know, similarities with things we've seen before, but I think it worked. And honestly, I think that's what we needed with this series. this series has been very different to previous Doctor Who, especially in the modern era. You know, that's what we really have to compare it to. It's been so much different to other Doctor Who that we've known before this. So it's nice to finally, I mean, I said arachnids in the UK. The reason why I actually didn't mind that episode when I watched it, and a lot of people who weren't a big fan, was because it felt more like Doctor Who, you know? We had this villain, and it kind of worked. I think once I rewatch it, my rating is going to go way down because the plot, I think I did overlook it a bit. You know, I thought, oh, this just feels exciting, so I gave it a high rating, whereas I really shouldn't have. But yeah, this episode though, it just feels like Doctor Who. My only issue with it is that it is a bit slow in the middle. I think it starts off really well and it ends phenomenally. It's one of the best endings, I think, to a Doctor Who series. Definitely the best of this series. You know, one of the best of the whole modern era. It does, however, I think, slow down quite a lot in the middle. There's a lot of talking, which is one of my biggest critiques with this series. I think there's too much talking in this series and not enough action. And that's the case with this one. We get plenty of action at the end, a little bit at the beginning, but we don't really get much in the middle. It's all talking. And just, I just really don't like the talking. There's a lot of drawn out stuff. It's like when Ryan's about to go down the chute. He talks for quite a while. I mean, yeah, he's bringing up, you know, things that he's brought up in previous episodes, but at the same time, it is just a lot of talking. Let's just get on with it. So that's really my only critique for this episode. So yeah, Kerblam, I actually really did quite enjoy it. For a rating, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. That may be a little bit high at this current point in time. Like I said, once this series is over, I'm going to go back and watch all the episodes, and then I'm going to do my ranking of all 10 episodes. So I'll probably give new ratings after watching them twice, because you really have to watch something twice before you can give a proper kind of rating on something. But, you know, from first viewing, I'm giving it an 8.5. I think it was pretty much near perfect. The only problem was that it was a little bit slow in the middle. All the casts were amazing, the plot was amazing, the twist at the end was absolutely phenomenal, didn't see it coming at all, and it worked out so well. It's just a shame that once again, like this series as a whole, the middle just does get a bit slow. It reminds me of classic Doctor Who actually. In classic Who, it's known for being pretty slow in the middle. Obviously those episodes are a lot longer. You know, those stories are a lot longer in Classic Who than they are nowadays, but this series as a whole, it's been really slow in the middle with pretty quick ends and pretty quick starts. So yeah, that's my only critique, but an 8.5 out of 10 for Kerblam. But anyway, that's going to be it for this video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed, please go ahead, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.